Okay, so to be more clear again, because I have to get clear on the verbiage on how I'm going to position this information, and it keeps me very focused because I tend to go off on tangents even when I'm writing. So some of the feedback I got when I was writing is that I've been going off on tangents. But yeah, so viruses evolve the body. Viruses evolve the body, mind, and spirit. There's no way to escape a virus. I just gave my dog the emergency recipe with 2 cotton balls soaked with maple syrup and my jelly juice, and because she was shaking. And I had the same kind of hypoglycemic reaction to the new virus in the environment. She's been whining lately, but I was thinking that maybe just because, I don't know. But today she was shaking a little bit. And I'm just like, oh, here we go. But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad like it was a year ago. So I took my jelly juice, added some maple syrup to it, and I added maple syrup to her kibble, and I gave her the cotton ball soaked maple syrup and jelly juice. And she is fine. She ate her food, she ran outside, did her business, whatever, and she's perfectly, and she'll be upstairs here in a minute because I just went upstairs. So anyways, viruses will evolve the body. You will inevitably be exposed to some kind of COVID-19 variant of a virus, of which, yes, you'll adapt to it, you'll evolve, you might feel some reaction. Some of you will take your therapeutics, and okay, fine, I can't stop you, but you've already been exposed to COVID. So then, when somebody is taking the mRNA therapeutic, that is going to override a weak body's program and then cause the body to program itself to attack itself. That's why it's so important for those of you that understand jelly juice, you must do jelly juice to override somebody else's programming. Because inevitably, when you do get exposed, whether you've gotten it in a vaccine or whether you've gotten it in the environment from somebody shedding from a recent exposure to a vaccination or mass therapeutic, you will have now created through your immune system the secondary antibody to then do a search and destroy of anything that's trying to destroy good tissue. So you're going to have, so if you've gotten the mRNA vaccine, that's going to try to reprogram your body, and then your body's going to develop antibodies if it's strong enough to go after that specific antibody and do a search and destroy. And yes, you're going to feel symptoms because your body's at war with itself until you're able to override the programming. When you get exposed to someone who's been recently vaccinated, that's the same thing when you go outside and get exposed to pollen in the air, antigen. Okay, you're going to have to fight off those invaders. Okay, so this is a microcosmic battle. This is not some battle you go out there in the middle of Iraq or Iran or China or whatever. This is not boots on the ground. This is a microcosmic battle that you can't blame anyone and say, oh yeah, they're doing the whole World War II, rendition again. No. This is actually reprogramming your body to attack itself. And then you have every opportunity to then override that programming. This is no different than any kind of software. That's what viruses are software, right? And then the programming from biotech is another type of software. So if you look at viruses as one type of software and data, like an operating system, and then you look at vaccines and therapeutics as another type of software that will try to go and reprogram, override, patch, whatever. Now you have to have the strength and the ability and the agility to override somebody else's programming. And that's no different when someone's in your ear constantly and they're basically talking the antithesis of what you're doing. You finally say, okay, no, I don't want to deal with it. Hey, sugar, come on in, sugar, come on. Okay. And you basically say, okay, I don't want to deal with your programming. I need to stick with mine. And then you basically, you block them, delete them, or tell them to shut up. That's the same thing that your body is going to do to anything that tries to overtake your body as far as the programming. So that's why Bill Gates is so appropriate for this. That's why he is so perfect for this. So you have to see the connection between Microsoft and biotechnology. It's no coincidence that Silicon Valley holds the most popular biotech companies like Genentech, Codon, Syntex from way back when, you name it, Amgen. All of these biotech companies all feed into also technology because they work hand in hand. They're conjoined. Okay? And so that's what you have to understand. And so it's not enough not taking the vaccine. Now you have to fight off something that's trying to do a search and destroy on you. See, before with the other vaccines that weren't mRNA, so there were some that were mRNA. I'm sure if you look back and see the vaccine schedule, some of them were mRNA, because there are people prior to the COVID that have autoimmune disorders. And, lupus, fibromyalgia, MS are all autoimmune disorders. And that's based upon the body being programmed to attack itself because it's exposed to viruses that you can't help. You don't know who holds what virus. When you go walk into a room, is there like an actual sign on each person that says they are more prevalent in this virus, and this virus? You'll be exposed to people no matter what. You won't know who is holding a massive payload of viral upload that you're probably not going to be prepared for. So when society opens up and you all been wearing masks and trying to social distance, okay, and then everyone's all like, oh yeah, I've just been vaccinated. Oh yeah, I'm fine. Everything's great. Society, everybody's doing better now. We've flattened the curve. And then people who hold those programming from the antigen. This antigen is a protein, a spike protein from the COVID that is turned into an acid that actually will program your immune system and reprogram the antigen to then trigger and look for the COVID-19 algorithms. And that's when someone's going to get hit with a payload of a virus that then the body is going to attack. And do you know how much of a payload you're going to get before the body starts producing antibodies at a rapid level? You won't know. So let's say you haven't had a reaction from your newest therapeutic. So you think everything is wonderful. Oh yeah, vaccines are great, right? And then you're sitting for a year or so because they still haven't opened up society, and then society opens up, and now you have all this programming. And then when you go to a concert, when you hang out with your friends and family, you go to a bar, a restaurant, wherever, maybe you don't wear a mask, maybe you go on a flight, you will be exposed to so much of that viral upload that just even inhaling the air, it's already going to permeate everything through your nose. It's going to go everywhere. And then at some point, the body's going to detect these algorithms, and it's going to attack every single cell and tissue that's been exposed to that COVID. Because remember, viruses need a host, and you're the fucking host. See, it's not like you can't kill a virus. Viruses are not alive. The only way you can kill a virus is if you actually kill the host. When I say that you can't catch a virus in here, only if it's in a droplet. If it's on some kind of like spittle, or in some kind of cellular microscopic form that you can't see, or in some kind of condensation, let's say the fog in San Francisco, that can hold so many viruses. Let's say the chemtrails. Let's go into the conspiracy world. And they're dropping so much stuff, whether it's barium and mercury or whatever, which I'm not too concerned about. But it's the exotic spores that you don't know about that are housed in some kind of protein form, enough for the virus to glom onto and still stay alive for a certain amount of time as it's floating down and you're breathing it in, not knowing. I mean, I go outside and occasionally I do smoke a cigarette, right? Because I'm just thinking, I'm trying to get my biochemistry going because I'm trying to write, because oh my God, writing is a pain in the ass for me sometimes. And I go outside and I breathe in really deeply because it's so cold outside. Oh yeah. The snow holds it all too. People are sneezing into the wind. The snow holds it up, freezes the person's spittle, and then it gets carried through the wind. And so you're breathing in the snow and the wind. Oh yeah, there's so many ways that you can get a virus and you won't even know it. And so it'll permeate, it'll settle in, permeate, and then replicate. And then that's when the body will probably kick in at some point. And that's when you will feel reactions. Okay? And so on a weak body, if you can't override that programming, it's going to destroy you. That's what I keep trying to tell those that wear a mask and those that got the therapeutics. You're a sitting duck. You have to realize that you are being reprogrammed for your body to attack you. That's the New World Order right now. But that's like them doing a strategic jilly juice. Jilly juice gets rid of the excess, the chaff, the weak, the ones that are imbalanced. Okay? And so you really can't fault the New World Order because it's no different than doing jilly juice, and you're getting rid of excess parasites, excess proteins, excess fungus, and they are living. They're not antibiotic, it's probiotic. I mean, your microbiome is alive. And so when you are finally recalibrating your body, you'll be getting rid of the chaff. All the stuff that the body doesn't need that's causing imbalances. That's exactly what is going on right now on a macro level scale. And you don't even know it because some of you haven't even studied the science of the jelly juice at the microscopic level. Because you're too worried about the macro level and all of the gaslighting in mainstream media. And the doctors aren't any help either. They're just trying to save their jobs and justify them making that money until they fall over, until they contract it. And then they're like, oh God, he was such a great doctor. He was so giving. And they'll deal these little, memorials on CNN. And they're like, oh yes, he was a great person. He was such a giving person. He helped so many people. You're just like, I feel bad that guy is dead, but damn it. They were the ones that, doctors don't know that they're not doing the right thing because they've been taught and they think they're doing good. But they are the ones that caused us to be in this deficit to begin with. But still, they don't know that they're doing wrong because they've been taught and been indoctrinated by the system to only get you at the 11th hour when the body tries to evolve at such a rapid rate that a person won't be able to survive that evolution. So they then roll the dice and see if their cure is to deaden you instead of being, trying to stay alive. Say you're at 90% alive, and then the evolution then rapidly uses up 20% resources. So now you're 90, 87, now you're at 70%. And so that 70% of evolution is you're feeling symptoms. Then they're going to say, okay, well, she can afford to get this chemotherapy. So we're going to deaden now 20 more percent. So now you're at 50%. See, that's what happens when you have malabsorption, is that you're still alive, but the body's going to use more resources than you're able to really afford in the long run. And that's the whole thing with medical system. They balance out to figure out how much life do you really have left for them to apply the evolution suppressing, symptom suppressing protocols. It's all math. It's all fractional equations. Okay? And so, yeah, if they can get you from, if they can stop the suffering when you're at 20% and then 30% death, so they're muzzling your suffering until there's 100% no more suffering, and that's when you're in the ground. So, I know this will probably fall on some deaf ears. Some of you really understand where I'm coming from. And some of you don't. And that's okay. But that's right now what's going on. The Georgia Guidestones. That's why it was written in like 5 or 7 languages. Those were the original languages of antiquity. They're bringing it back to freaking 2,000 years ago. Or even more. Way back in cuneiform. Well, Sanskrit I don't think was back in Sumerian. It was probably. But when you actually look at how many languages on the Georgia Guidestones, that's going to be the predominant people that they're trying to shoot for. That's going to be the living new language. And then Facebook and Google will have the translations to where someone speaks in a different language, it'll immediately translate. So the computer is going to be the living new language. Because somebody can write to me from France in all French, and I can go and look at the translation, and it would be like there's no language barrier. Okay? So the Georgia Guidestones is very key, but it's also as strategic as jelly juice. That's why I changed the salt. I didn't sell out. I became more strategic and accelerated evolution, and then you have to eat food. Sugar, salt, meat, milk, cheese, bread, a donut, a hamburger. Hell, I don't know, pork. And never mind the religious aspect of it. Be like, oh, we can't eat pork because it's dirty. Oh, honey, the only thing that's dirty is people who don't take care of themselves and have so much excess. I'm not saying they're dirty, but that's what people are alluding to when it's dirty, is that it has all these different parasites and stuff. Yeah, well, pigs, they hang out in the dirt, but parasites actually help mediate between you and the microbiome. When you have so many parasites, it means that you're not able to handle things on your own, and you need a mediator to help go and compost your shit because you haven't been able to break it down yourself. Okay? So never mind the religious diets. Never mind all the distraction diets out there. Eat freaking food. Drink water. Do waterfalls. Rid of yourself the agonist antibodies and antagonist antibodies. and face your evolution, because right now you have nothing left. I belong to a COVID reaction group, and they're recommending ivermectin, hydroxychloroquine. Oh hell, they're recommending everything under the sun. And I actually gained a couple of new trolls and more fans, as well as people that maybe I've enlightened in some level. And I'm fine with that. So, you guys, good luck to you, but this is a microscopic war, one of which it's a personal venture. And so I may come off as snarky like, oh yeah, the angry faces. You can tell who they are because they're the ones that were recently vaccinated and they have to wear a mask. And I'm like, just wait till society opens up. Then put your emoji out there and see if you're laughing or crying or angry. You'll probably be all three because you won't know what to do when you're attacked. And if you can do an emoji, it means you're still alive. It means you have time to do my recipe. So, good luck, everybody. Bye.